this first half or be victorious first half, or are we going to see what we usually see quite often, where it's that 3-3 split in the first half, Elijah, and then we see it all change and flip on its head?
I mean, we've seen something come into a trend, which is just blow for blow between teams at the moment. You know, one team, they win the first round, and it's just back for back until we get to that OT, and they take us the full distance majority of the time. So I can't wait to see which sort of play style both of these teams, or whether they'll take us the full distance or not. But Jack would be our very first ban. We didn't guess that.
No, we didn't guess that, but that is a typical sort of ban, especially in, normal sort of ranked play as well. But Knock, a very strong operator just in general, able to lurk so easily. She'll be off the board. We didn't discuss that either, so we're not doing too great to kick things off here on the predictions of bans. But first ban on the defense, NDE going to ban that one, and it will be the Azami. So we'll get one thing right at least, and that'll
that's typical to get rid of. You got to think about it, right? If you're holding that library, those keeper barriers can just shut down anyone potentially trying to take that library, especially if you don't have the right utils to bring it. So getting rid of her, super strong, as well as that Knock. I mean, majority of the time you'll see a Knock try to sneak up those soul stairs at the back and try to catch majority of the defenders off guard when they're not looking, stab them in the back. And Solus will follow as that very last ban, get rid of some of that intel on the defender side.
Yeah, and Solus. I did make mention of that, and we're not going to see it because she is quite strong at finding those pre-placed drones, and especially for the plants as well. If they are above on some vert that you can get, you're able to find that plant and deny it. But on a map like Chalet, I'd like to think that you're probably not going to be able to do that as often. A lot of teams are aware of that vert presence, and they like to at least get some vert control, at least intel below, especially on that attack. So I wonder, NDE, if they're prepared for that, if they're ready, if they do choose to bring that Valkyrie, which is available, Elijah, that we did think was going to be definitely banned, but is it available, as well as that mirror? So none of that is in play from any of the sudden resources right now, but we're waiting for Hale to join back. Unfortunately, he disconnected.
I mean, that's not where you want to begin to start off the round. But speaking of beginnings, though, it looks like the very first site that they're going to be taking us to is that Bar Gaming, KJ.
Yeah, it is a popular pick for that tertiary site. A lot of players do go kitchen sometimes as well, but Bar Gaming, some people just like to play it over that master site. It definitely can be held a little bit easier. You just need to play that top blue, have a little bit of library presence, and then you can play below for the most part. You just got to be aware of the lurks and whatnot, and having Knock off the board is definitely going to help with that. But I think they overheard us, Elijah. They have switched and picked that Valkyrie, so they are opting to have that intel available for them, and that's definitely going to help on those lurks. And having somebody like Robbie or somebody like Kiwi or Gospel, they do like to go for their little walks and their little crouch walks, so they got to be careful of that being on this defense.
Yeah, definitely. And it's all up to what Hale picks as well. I mean, he could pick an operator that is quite useful, maybe even a castle to quite shake things up on this defense as well. Maybe even a mirror. I mean, she is available. It's super useful to have in that little kegs room as well. So it's all up to Hale. He could change or make or break it.
And hopefully he's coming in shortly so we can see what he chooses to bring. But right now we are seeing, our boy Wamai. So let's hope that life is running that 1.5 with that new change. He gets it back. I've missed my boy having that 1.5, and hopefully he can do some damage with it.
I can't wait to use him personally. I haven't even done the siege update yet. I'm lacking. I haven't quite patched everything up yet, but I'm excited to get into some siege. Utilize that 1.5 on Wamai again. It's been a long time since we've been able to use that. So having that back, I mean, it's just going to bring some nostalgia back, back to the old way.
Well, yeah, a little bit, but obviously the MP5K, it did have a recall change not too long ago, so it's not going to feel like it was back, in the good old days, but it is still back nonetheless, and I think it definitely makes him a little bit better, because obviously the Org, it had a recall change as well, so both of these guns got nerfed a little bit, but having that 1.5 back may bring him back into that pick rate that little bit more. And we're gonna see if hopefully Life is running that MP5K. If he's not, he's doing an injustice. He's doing an injustice.
Wasted potential, essentially. If you're not putting on that 1.5, I mean, what are you doing? I mean, they just patched it up. I mean, utilize it while it's still there. You don't know if it's broken or not yet. I mean, you may as well use it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. But if I'm using the on that clubhouse, those rafters are mine.
I knew you were going to say clubhouse. Yeah,
those rafters
that's your
are
favorite
mine.
spot to hold. I mean, like whenever you're in
is.
clubhouse, you can guarantee that KJ is going to be on that 1.5 or my. So just frag him. I'll get rid of those Wamais for you. Don't worry about it.
Just flash me out, use some capital bolts, get me out of the rafters, and you've won the round.
I mean, if you take that garage control, I mean, you win every time.
This is true. This is true. Unless they're. But we're not on Clubhouse. Why are we talking about Clubhouse? We're talking about Chalet here.
Yeah.
And I think being on the attack for NDE, and obviously for the Naughty Sausages being on that defense, I think both these teams so early into this matchup, I think one of them has to set the pace here. And whoever does that, I think will have a better hold on the game, because the other one is just going to have to play catch up. So if NDE can do something really, really good here on the attack, especially for this bar gaming site, I think Naughty Sausages may get caught off guard and have to play catch up. And I think that's what NDE need. They need that surprise factor to take this W.
I mean, if there's any round to do it, it is always that very first round, because both the teams haven't sort of read into how they're going to play. I mean, like, majority of the times you'll see teams, as soon as they've played out that first round, they'll be like, okay, this is how NDE are playing, this is how Naughty Sausages are playing, and they sort of work around each other to see how they can make a play on the mistakes of each team. In that first round, you don't have any idea. You've got no intel on how either one of these teams are playing. So if you are going to make a play, take advantage of the fact that each team has no intel on each other in that very first round.
Yeah, and we did get confirmation that we do have to go to that rehost, so hopefully not too longer before we go to that game that we're just so itching to get into. We were waiting for them to get into the lobby.
I'm itching.
But
get me in.
They just want us to, wait it out a little bit. They want us to have that itch. But I think, if you did get warm in those tea hunts and then you've been waiting in that lobby and then obviously with rehost, it could be pretty detrimental. You could warm down and you might not be ready for what is going to occur when the game starts. But I don't know. I think if NDE play off each other like they did last week, I know that you didn't get to cast it, Elijah, but on Villa, the rounds that they won were when they started playing off of each other. And I think I do know that Naughty Sausages, they do that well as well, but they need to make sure that with NDE that they don't leave them any room to do that. They shut down those refrags and they play together just as much as NDE, because they definitely are looking a lot better than last season. They're playing a lot more together and they're just finding their groove. And I think if they find their groove here on Chalet, it could be pretty scary for Naughty Sausages.
I mean, you could imagine that, we got to see, like, on the previous seasons, NDE not doing too well. They finally zoned in and they realized that they need to play around each other, and that worked super well for them on their Villa game. So you could imagine that that's something that they have been working on, doing those VOD reviews from that Summer League tournament, taking all of that intel into now the Nova tournament, and that got them their very first win, I believe. So you can imagine that they've zoned in, they're locked in, they know exactly what they need to do. So working together, that's going to come quite strong to them now. So I don't think they're going to let any of that slip up at all.
Well, let's hope not. But Naughty Sausages, they are on that defense. They do have a pretty good roster. You got some pretty talented players in there. So ND, they definitely need to be careful of that, because if Naughty Sausages get that momentum, you're not going to be able to stop it. But right now, we just need that momentum to get into the lobby. I want to see it, man. I want to see it. But hopefully, no more delays. It is 6:47, so little bit over time, but hopefully we can get the game underway so that it doesn't delay any of the further games for tonight. I do believe that everyone's just getting into the lobby now. We should be getting done shortly. I think the bans were all finalized, so we don't have to go through that again. And we can get straight into round one on that Bark Gaming. And I think that everyone on the defense, that they can still change their operators because we didn't go into a round. So they can still change things up here, Elijah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they could change everything. I mean, they don't necessarily have to go to Bar Gaming yet, so because they were that one player down, so they might even switch up. But I like the Bar Gaming being the first pick. You know, taking it to that tertiary side, taking him off guard. I can imagine it's going to be quite an exciting first round.
Yeah, and we got the confirmation. We're back in the game. It's starting. Let's get into it. I want to see it.
We're here, ladies and gentlemen, finally.
But
all right,
we're getting the pick phase, and let's lock in those operators. Let's get into round one. No funny business, guys. No funny business.
It's back on that Wamaya. I can't wait to see if he's using that 1.5.
Yeah, they are going to that Bar Gaming, so Wamai, and they're bringing that Jaeger, so having both util denial operators on the board is definitely going to help you hold that for sure. So they're bringing that Frost, which is quite a meta pick on this side especially, and just Chalet in general. Able to run those traps underneath those windows, forcing you to get rid of them with utility, or when you jump in to shoot it, and you'll be met by somebody either swinging or holding that angle. So you got to be careful. But I do like that Hale is running that castle as well.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Yeah, I was trying to guess on which Hale would have picked because he had the unfortunate time to disconnect at the beginning. So I was wondering, you know, what is that fifth operator that you're going to bring? He has bringing that castle. That's definitely going to help with your extensions as well. You know, cutting off some of those lines of sights that NDE are going to try and utilize against them, especially for a potential extension up into piano. You can see that deployable shield is set up. Sort of a default thing to do. I mean, it's definitely helpful in terms of stopping them from getting any of that piano control. Looks like Robbie's going to go head up. He's going to contest that one as well. He's already made his way towards this Mez window as well. Doing a little bit of drone work.
Yeah, he's droning that office, trying to get that that side of the map and try and make use of it. But Mallows is denying that intel coming in. And I think they're just sort of trying to deny any sort of entry from NDE. And we're still early days, but they are making quick control of this map. They have cleared that solar office side, and I'd imagine Robbie is going to start getting into the building and start trying to rip off some heads.
I mean, you've got the drone work coming in by Robbie as well to clear his right side, so he doesn't have to worry about anyone being potentially in master room. He just needs to make his way for this Mez balcony as well. Gospel taking a huge chunk of HP, trying to get a little bit of angle from that dungeon window. Unable to get any effect though. Most of the damage is done to him instead. You've got all the angles set up for you, and Name's Dave is ready for a little bit of a pinch as well, but looks like he's gone for that repel instead. Try to reposition yourselves, but first pick will come out. Harry M getting that first blood onto Gospel will remove your IQ from play, so you're unable to help with any util there. But you've got the Thatcher though. I mean, that's just about as much as you need.
Yeah, they didn't end up running the Valkyrie, so the IQ, although it's a good operator, it's not needed specifically for this push. But as we can see here, they're trying to use that Thatcher EMP to get rid of those ADSs, but there is a Wamai here, and they are disabled, so that shield will be cleared. And look at it, it's the 1.5, and Ted, he's going to find one onto Mallows. So that's your alibi down for the count, and back to that 4v4 as we're left with 1 minute on the clock.
You got no grenades left for Kiwi as well, so he just has to take these pure gunfights. But against double wire 1.5, I mean, that's quite different. I mean, we haven't seen that in a while, so you can imagine it's going to come into play in just a second as Yahtzee swings up and manages to hit the head. But it's a trade from both of them. Both of them will fall thanks to that down to a 3v3 now as Hills manages to lose his engagement. But Hale will refrag it and try to get those even numbers back to that 2-2 successfully. With only 33 seconds left for both of these players to work with Harry. He's got the angles accompanied by Hale as well. He's going to push up these blue stairs. It looks like he's a little bit unaware though if he manages to hit this head. He's got the 1.5 to do so. He's going to swing up these stairs, and he's unaware. He's able to pick up that kill easily onto Happy Brown Teddy Bear, and it's down to a 1v2 now with only 13 seconds left. Robbie's going to drop down to try and get that diffuser, but Harry M, he's already got the angle.
If that's what the first round of this game is, I'm keen to see the rest of it. It was so close. It came down to just refrags after refrags, and it was that 2v2. And then they were able to find those last 2 picks there and secure their first round on the defense. Naughty Sausages, 1-0.
Beautiful refrags as well. I mean, it just wasn't from like the same level either. I mean, you'd get 1 kill upstairs into that mez, and all of a sudden there's a player swinging you from dungeons to refrag you from the first floor up to the second. I mean, they're playing around each other super well, Naughty Sausages. So I think NDE, they need to get that underway as well, and they did successfully. It just wasn't enough to win out that very first round. Naughty Sausages prevailed on their very first win, but I mean, I can't wait for a comeback. NDE, will they win the second round? I hope so.
Yeah, they need to sort of make a statement. They need to make sure that they're in this game just as much as the Naughty Sausages. But I think the problem with that round for them, for NDE, was that that engagement in that bar hallway. If Sledge was aware of Castle's position there, it could have been a different round. If he found that frag onto those blue stairs, then it was only Harry in that bar site, and then Robbie and him could collapse. But, you know, unfortunately, didn't have the intel, weren't aware of the position, and Naughty Sausages abused that.
I mean, they're definitely going to be working on that the second time around. As we push upstairs, I mean, Thermite. He's already got the angle. He's trying to stop anybody from getting into that fireplace hallway there. Try to stop any of that movement. We are upstairs though. Interesting enough, you bring a Thermite. I mean, I'm used to seeing an ace or something for this. Thermite, yeah, able to open up that entire wall there. It doesn't look like they have anything for it. Oh no, they have a Cade. Potential Cade trick.
Yeah, they're going to be careful of that. They do have the, they did have a Thatcher available to them, but they did not choose to bring it this time. Instead, they do have the EMPs of Robbie, as well as those nades if they choose to nade below. But it is a K-Claw, so I'd imagine it'd be on one of those beams. So they got to be careful with that. They do have the IQ to spot out exactly where it is, so that'll make it that little bit easier, but never mind.
No more,
the
yeah.
Cade will eliminate that idea, and that won't come to fruition. But the phones are ringing. The position of the defenders are made aware to the attacker's intent. He's going to shut down one. He's going to shut down the Cade. So potential C4 off the board for Naughty Sausages. And we're back to that 4v4.
I mean, I'm surprised that Hale, he's managed to stay alive. He was downstairs this entire time. Those Dokkaebi calls, they were trying to pinch him out. They were unable to do so. It looks like he's able to get away safe, but as we got to see just there, and Kiwi, he's going to fall as well to the DMR of Mallow. He's able to get away with himself as well. Unpunished for that frag. It'll bring it back down to a 4-3 now. Swinging in the way of Naughty Sausages again for the second round. They need to get their attack underway.
Yeah, and a minute 10, they still don't have the breach open, and they're only just starting to get this mez control now, so they need to start opening up this wall and start droning out these positions of these defenders so they can work out what they want to do next for the execute. And having those Velcro cameras up, I don't know if they've spotted them out and eliminated any of them, but they got to be careful, because if there is a C4 below, or if they choose to go below, they got to be made aware of that if they want to go for that plan.
Well, it looks like they can't get the wall. I mean, they did try that EMP. Didn't get there successfully, though, so they might have to go... Oh, no, it connected instead, so he's able to get that one open. That's good to come underway. Mallows as well to connect a headshot onto Robbie to remove him from play to a 4v2 now with only 28 seconds left. So it looks like NDE, they're on the struggle street at the moment to take this attack. I mean, Happy Brown Teddy Bear is going to go for this piano window as well. A nice shot from Namesaves to take a couple of HPs off as well, but it's going to get it traded out. A little bit of HP done back to him as well to finally finish him off is Yodis to find 2. That 1.5 is doing justice.
Yeah, Life utilizing that one by 1.5, and he gets the double in the end there. And NDE really struggling to find their footing in this matchup right now. They looked good round 1. Round 2, though, it was just a little bit more iffy. They were allowing people to swing, and with no refrags, Mallow, I think he was able to find 2 that DMR, and he didn't get shot at all. He didn't have anyone to refrag at all, so I think that's a major issue for NDE right now, and hopefully round 3 they can sort of sort that out as we do go to this kitchen dining.
I mean, I think for the moment, Naughty Sausages are doing really well in just stalling out NDE's attack. I mean, we got to see it in that first round. They tried to take that upstairs. They did well burning them for time, and they forced them to waste so much of that, so they didn't have time to get their executor underway. Second round, I mean, the same thing. I mean, they didn't get that wall open until there was just a minute left. I mean, that Cade was definitely doing the work there. And, there's no time left in the rounds for them to, work their positions. So hopefully NDE can be a little bit faster in terms of clearing out that utility, clearing out those potential roamers that were downstairs. And that's all you have to do.
Yeah, I think Naughty Sausages, they're definitely doing, what they're meant to be doing on that defense. They're finding those picks, then they're just running down the clock, playing that time. So if they continue to do that, their defense is going to look rather tasty for them going onto that attack. But round 3, it looks like they're going for a library across so they can start to get that control above kitchen, that master office side.
And yeah, they're doing those drone works to make sure Mez is clear. It's looking uncontested at the moment. I mean, there was the alibi there on Mallow, but he's fallen off though. All those drones scaring him off. Yeah, I've got these dungeon players though, so if you're jumping through that Mez window, you're gonna get cleaned up easily as well. He's got a nice little pre-placed drone for himself as well. That'll replace that default. He's able to read into that they've got that library control.
Yeah, and he's feeding that intel for his team off that stolen drone, and that is not good for NDE if they're not aware of it. And Harry, he is ready to swing off these head holes and hopefully find a pick onto this E-box. But no, he shoots a drone, falls back into piano.
Well, they're definitely doing well with holding this vertical. You can see Thermite try to open up the wall from the floor as he didn't have any of that util to help clear some of that one as well. Hills to get the first blood onto Kiwi. That's your global utility removed. The roam as well by Gospel. The lurk there, able to remove Hills from play. That's your Mozzie removed as well. Potential C4. No more of that.
Very interesting though, why the Thermite opened it like that, because there is no wall denial on the side of Naughty Sausages. Maybe it's just so you can get a better angle on those stairs. So it's just a foothold for anyone in office, but it is a head hole for the people on those stairs. They're going to be careful of that. Harry, he's pushing deep and aggressive here in Display Hall. He shoots some shots, but none enough to be lethal. And Yana will get away with about 80 HP. But Mallows, he's playing aggressive here on the half wall. And it's just all guns blazing right now. As Dave, he finds one onto Hale. And there's only one more in sight. It's the Wamai with that 1.5 that we're talking about. He does some damage to Gospel, but he's just holding down. 38 seconds. He's waiting.
I mean, he's sitting pretty at the moment behind that half wall. He's accompanied by those Wamais to help him hold that position just a little bit more. You accidentally shoot your teammate in the back thanks to the angle. But it's looking like it's swinging NDE's way. I mean, they're one player down. Gospel is quite low HP as the smokes come through to try and get that plant down. Live's able to win the fight onto Gospel and push deep as well to stop the diffuser and making sure that NDE have no room to breathe as all. Happy Brown, Teddy Bear, and Robbie will find their 2 picks as well, leaving Life alone in a 1v1 now as he manages to down Gospel, and the position will be given away as Robbie walks into one of those Legion mines. You've got 4 seconds left. That Legion mine's going to make sure that you can't sprint at all. The diffuser's off your hands, and Naughty Sausages will take their round 3 without a play.
Wow, that was chaos towards the end there, and Life going big on the Wamai 1.5, man. I'm telling you, it's back. It's back.
It's a confidence booster for sure. I mean, you're definitely giving that operator justice now with that little buff that Ubisoft were kind enough to giving us. So Naughty Sausages sitting pretty at 3-0 at the moment. NDE not able to find a round just of yet. They do have the disadvantage of being on that attack. So I mean, you just got to think that maybe NDE have it in them for that defense.
Yeah, but you can't rely completely on that defense. If you lose too many rounds here in that first half, it's just going to make it that much harder, put that much more pressure on you going onto that defense. So hopefully they can find some common ground here and maybe even things up going into the second part of this first half.
Hey, Naughty Sausages really don't like that downstairs. I mean, they've done their cycle, and back to bar gaming, you'll find us. So, I mean, they definitely held it well last time against NDE. It was quite close, but I can imagine if there's any round to win, I mean, if NDE can fix their mistakes from that very first round, I mean, they can win out their very first. And that would be golden for them as well. I mean, winning at least one attack on a cycle, I mean, that'll definitely help your defense.
Well, yeah, something that we should mention, Elijah, is that, you know, they are playing all these shields and running this Jaeger and Wamai, but you know what's available? Flores. He is available. No mute on the side of Naughty Sausages either, and that would make it that much easier for you to clear that util very, very efficiently. But Mallows using that gun on Warden, able to find the opening pick onto that IQ, and that is not a position you want to be in if you are NDE right now. But they can definitely work it back. It's not all is lost. They just got to work together and work hard to do it.
I mean, it's well done by Naughty Sausages for the moment. I mean, they've been able to clear their IQ almost every single round. Mallow's going big to find the second kill of the round. Able to clear out their Zofia, I mean, their Ayana as well. So, what a big pick. I mean, getting rid of that soft destruction, those potential stuns as well, is definitely going to help you. Mallow is feeling quite confident as well in his fights. They're trying to pinch him out. Happy Brown Teddy Bear's on the lurk as well. He's got the grenades. He had that drone intel. He knows it is piano as well. Kiwi to back him up. He's fallen off safely. He's got to be unpunished for those 2 first kills. That'll leave NDE in a rough spot.
Yeah, I think they're just not aware or not ready for the players of Naughty Sausages to play the way they are. But Dave finally able to shut down Mallows, and that is a good pick to get. He gets it from that angle through that K9 Mez window there. It's a very, very good frag for him. But Kiwi, he's looking to clear this shield top blue and utilize those Zofia lifelines. But Hills, he's in library, able to shut down some of those drones coming in from NDE. But minute 17 on the board. They need to start picking up the pace here if they want to be able to clear their shield.
Looks like they want to try and stun him off that shield, but if you're not too careful, you're going to get a quick swing as well. You do manage to get the shield thanks to the Thatcher being able to take off that ADS and the Wamais that were there just sitting up onto the ceiling. So definitely useful for bringing that Thatcher. I mean, it's done its job for the moment. You just need to get that pick.
They definitely need to find a pick here, and I think Hills, he may be the next victim here, or he can do some damage if they're not aware that he's still here. But Kiwi, he's certain and ready for this Wamai to peek his head. But Harry, able to find a kill onto Ted, but Kiwi to return onto Hills, and Dave able to find one to life. So back to that 2v2. This is looking all too familiar, Elijah, as we saw this when they played Bar Gaming the first time. But can ND swing it in their favor this time?
Hale's in the exact same position, double so for Harry M. I mean, he's hiding into that bar, same as last time. Hale, he's on that blue. If you're not too careful for these positions, I mean, you have to learn from what happened in that very first round, so hopefully you can sort of guess where they were playing. Dave's got to find the kill onto Harry, and that's your bar cleared. Now, you've got a little bit of those holes there, but Hale can't manage to connect the shots just yet, and the defuse will go down without a contesture at all. Kiwi to find a nice shot, and NDE will win their very first attack round. They definitely worked on the mistakes that they made last time, played around each other beautifully, and they're able to take that win.
They finally found that first round there, and it was looking like deja vu all over again, but they chose a different route. They played it a little bit differently. They actually played it together that time, and I think that is what they need to be doing going into these next 2 rounds on the first half. They need to be playing off each other, especially in those dire moments of the final parts of the round, and especially on those executes there. So really well played to NDE, and it looks like Naughty Sausages aren't happy with the way that they played that last round and want to go back to the Bar Gaming. So they're going to run things back. And in terms of the operator lineup, it's pretty much the same apart from that alibi. Mallows did run the Warden last time. He did find a double, but he's switching over to that alibi, bringing that extra shield for the team.
He did well with Mallow being on alibi in the previous rounds that we got to see. I mean, that might catch them off guard. You know, shooting one of these clones definitely won't help you. It'll give away your position for sure. But you know, back to that Bar Gaming. I'm excited to see if NDE found their momentum. Have they found their footing for attacking here? I guess we'll find out in just a few minutes, but it's all about dealing with those first face checks that Mallow has provided again and again for trying to take this office.
Yeah, and it looks like the NDE, they're still running this Thatcher. They're not opting to bring that Flores, and I don't know, with all these castle barricades as well, obviously you do have this Ledger, you do have the Sophia, but I think having Flores in your back pocket would definitely help. But maybe they're confident they can get another round here, and hopefully it can speed things up here so it doesn't come to those last few seconds of the round when going for that execute.
I mean, for the moment, they haven't put anyone top mez. Oh, he's in library instead, so he's in a pretty good position. They haven't sent anyone around there to sort of get that cross angles. He did open up that display to try and contest anybody who was playing mez. You're able to pull off hills, being able to read into that, pull back into that library to get a sort of a better angle utilizing those long ones. Utilizing this IQ as well is super nice. We got to see IQ removed previously in the rounds, super early on, unable to utilize that. But this time, it's a little bit different. You're able to spot out that util for that Thatcher. You're going to have no problems being able to clear that.
Yeah, and we are approaching almost that halfway mark. They are in that piano. They have set up those positions. They're ready to clear this shield early, I would imagine. So hopefully they can get that underway and start clearing out these positions from Naughty Sausages. But EMPs to go out. I'd imagine the Sphere Stun's going to go out as well. And Ted, he's smart playing here, ready to pick off Mallows, who is trying to get down here in the basement. But Mallows is just able to cross over. The timing on that for the sledge is going to be really annoying for him. But he's just holding his ground, trying to expect a flank.
I mean, crazy that he was able to cross over like that. That's siege timing for you if you got to see it at any point. So I wonder if he knows that he's down there. I mean, both for the players for the moment. I mean, it looked like Mallows was pretty confident that there was one in that big garage there as well. But they're stalling for time at the moment. Naughty Sausages leaving NDE only 50 seconds left to work with. They're trying to get these drones clear out. Hills to get a nice pick onto Dave as well to make things just that much harder for them as well. Happy Brown Teddy Bear, he's able to fall as well to Mallows as well. Gonna go for a quick play. Robbie with all the confidence in the world. Hills is gonna find his first as well. Robbie, he's gonna trade that one back down to a 3v1 now. It's all down to Robbie, and he's gonna take the majority of the punishment. His damage is gonna get removed. 24 seconds to work with. You haven't even got that diffuser in hand. It's looking all well for Naughty Sausages at the moment.
Yeah, and he has to get an ace to win it too, but it's just too much work for him to be putting in, and Mallows able to find the last kill there, and they're looking rather comfortable right now. 4-1 right now, and NDE, they need to win this round. This is a crucial round to win in this first half and the last round of the first half before they go onto that defense. 4-2, that's a decent split, especially attacking on this map. But I think if it's 5-1, that's going to be very, very difficult to maintain that and not let Naughty Sausages get onto that match point.
It's just their top blue defense on Naughty Sausages is too strong for NDE for the moment. I mean, I didn't get to see what happened to that Thatcher. They didn't really clear out any of that util from what I saw.
Yeah, I don't quite know that. I did see the EMP go out, but it didn't really do anything for them. They didn't utilize the EMP. I don't know quite if it caught those ADSs. They were a little bit more forward than what they were earlier in the other rounds, but I don't quite know what happened. But unfortunately for ND, they weren't able to clear it. But we're seeing the Capcom being brought into play, so maybe Naughty Sausages is going to try and play off the idea that NDE aren't able to utilize these drones, and they're shutting down the intel well, Naughty Sausages, so if they're not aware of those Capcom traps, it could be deadly.
I mean, they have got Gospel on the IQ, and we got to see Gospel utilizing it properly in the previous rounds if he wasn't shut down too early. So if he manages to stay alive, you can imagine that those cap cans are going to be cleared quite easily as well. You got names Dave. He's on that Blackbeard as well. A little bit of engagement happening downstairs into that trophy. You can see Valkyrie, Harry M. He's popped up nicely to try and find his very first pick. But you can imagine being Blackbeard, you want to be on that double window, right? You're already setting up those claim walls to help with that anti-run out. It looks like the play for the moment.
Yeah, and look, Capcon's on the window. Does Blackbeard know that he's lying underneath his window? And if he's not careful,
looks like Dave knows.
Oh, he does know, and he's able to open up the round and find Mallows. That's a good pick to find early as well, and that's unfortunate for Mallows. He tried to do a sneaky play, didn't quite work for him.
I mean, it's a high risk, high reward type thing. Getting rid of that Blackbeard off that double window definitely relieves a lot of pressure for anybody who's playing in that Master. Unfortunately, you're able to capitalize on that, so that'll leave Master a little bit of a dangerous territory to take. But you can see majority of them, they're set up and dining. They're putting down those claymores as well. Two popped up outside of that trophy jump in. Looks like a solo take at the moment. I mean, Ash has already made the way in. Happy Brown Teddy there with some cooked frags. Nobody's in the bathroom though. You're able to clear out that and relieve some of that phantom pressure. Harry M to find his kill to Kiwi.
Yeah, he's just playing this solar angle, and Hale able to find Ted, and it's all falling apart for NDE right now. They had that opening pick, but Dave able to return. It's back to that 3v3.
Well, that's an even ground to be put on. I mean, you got to be comfortable with that. You have to be careful of this Blackbeard, though. He's still on that double window as well. Harry M's looking to get a little bit aggressive to try and clear that one out. Dave's able to capitalize on that and take off Hills. That'll put it down to a 2v3 now. So what was swinging in the way of Naughty Sausages, NDE has not let it slip up, and they're trying to bring it back. Robbie, he's downstairs. He's still got 2 grenades in his pockets as well, so if he manages to find some of these frags, could definitely be useful. Gospel, with a clean shot onto Harry M, will remove him from the play and leave Hale alone into a 1v3. He has to be careful. He does manages to find the head of the Blackbeard. He's going to put himself in an even better position at the moment, as Robbie is unaware of the head holes, as finds his 3rd kill of the round, and the kit's going to go down. 29 seconds left. Hale's got the C4. He does a Kobe toss. It's not going to be able to connect though. He's able to rotate away safely. 22 seconds. You haven't got the angles to work with. Hale's going to have to go through these default rotate. The diffuser goes down. Hale's able to capitalize that and find the 4K to win it out. Naughty Sausages, 5-1.
Oh, it's doing the head turn thing again, but Hale finding 4 in that round, and he found some nutty shots towards the end there for that retake to try and get that diffuser. And he was just denying those entries from NDE. For some reason, they weren't just holding the angles, they were exposing themselves a little bit too much. They had time to sort of figure out where they wanted to go and how they wanted to do it, but unfortunately, they bled the picks to him, and props to Hale for making it work, but that is not the position you want to be in if you're NDE. You did so well to put yourself in that 3v1 scenario, and then you let it all fall. Will that be in their heads now? I don't know, but going on to this defense, hopefully they don't let it get to them too much and have a clean mind, clean slate going into the second half, and maybe you can catch Naughty Sausages off guard and they might not be able to get that momentum on the attack.
I mean, I feel like last round NDE structured their confidence in their attack off of that Blackbeard on that double window. And I'll give it props, it did work. But when it came down to it, when you were able to finally remove that Blackbeard, you just swang into that Master, thinking that it would have been covered. It wasn't covered, you're able to capitalize on that. It was well played by that Mozzie last round to able to utilize those head holes. And that takes them just even further towards their win. 5-1 at the moment, so thankfully, NDE, they get to take their defense now and see how well they can pop up against Naughty Sausages. Maybe Naughty Sausages will choke out their attack. I mean, that's what you gotta hope for.
Yeah, and they need to play off the fact that Naughty Sausages are on that attack. So hopefully they run down that clock and play sort of similar to how Naughty Sausages did. You know, they got that man advantage, and then they just played it safe. They played the clock, played the time, and it netted in round wins. So hopefully NDE can do the same and find themselves some more rounds here on Chalet.
And there's nobody up on this mez now. They've already cleared it out with the drones as well. Same so for Fireplace. So they're already getting that control with no contention at the moment. You've already got that library control as well. So you're just forfeiting a lot of this territory to Naughty Sausages at the moment. So you've got to hope that NDE have capacity to hold this vertical up in Piano in that office as well. Otherwise, it's just going to be a collapse for it. Mallow, he's going to be unaware. He did drone out library as well, but unfortunately, he didn't get to see that frost trap. Kiwi is able to find the head of Harry M as well. So that'll definitely swing it in your way, but Hills isn't going to let it slip. He will return the kill onto Gospel.
Mallows does get res though, so he is on that 20 HP, but you know, he could be taken out quite easily from a few bullets of any of these defenders. But we are back to that 4v4, but a nade to go out, and a rather well cooked nade too from Hale, able to shut down Kiwi, and that brings us to that 4v3, and we're just over halfway into the round now. They're gonna be careful, because that Naughty Sausages are gonna start to collapse and start their execute. But Mallows, he's up here in K9, just holding, droning, trying to find these positions of NDEs.
I mean, name's Dave. I mean, I wonder if he can do justice on the Wamai 1.5. He's got the deployable shield, all the Wamais in the world to stop him from getting fragged out of that position for the moment. The Thatcher is doing the work though. They're able to drone him out. They know that he's behind that half wall. So if that EMP managed to connect to that Wamai disc, I mean, you're going to get removed from this position without a doubt. You've got the rotate there. That'll help you definitely for sure. Have to be a little bit careful of these angles though.
Yeah, they're just sort of waiting the time. I like this from NDE. They need to play. They're one man down. They're playing the time. They're going to try and clear this castle so that they have another avenue besides the bridge to enter the site. But it is castle, so he has to waste his melees on it. And EMPs to go out. The Wamai is cleared, but names Dave with the swing. Able to shut down Life, the former Wamai player. But Mallows to return onto Ted. So we're back down to a 2v3, but shots to go out. Hill's going to take the worst of that engagement, but I'd imagine Dave, he wants to find another pick here, but Robbie able to find one, and Dave to find one as well. They're able to hold it down, Elijah.
I mean, the long angles, the playing around each other, the swinging off of each other as well was just superior for NDE in that defense. So well played by NDE, and they'll win their very first defensive round against Naughty Sausages. And it was a quite strong one as well. I mean, what looked like it was disadvantageous for them, NDE capitalized in the end, and they prevailed, winning themselves another round. I mean, that was quite strong. I could imagine there's going to be doubly so for the third round. They might take us to a closer score count.
Yeah, I think, you know, they definitely look more comfortable on the defense. They look like they're communicating and working well off each other. But something that we haven't mentioned about the new patch changes as well is that Oryx, he lost that 1.5. So we saw Robbie using that holo, and he made work of it. You know, you don't need the 1.5, Robbie's saying. You can just get the frags nonetheless, and frag he did, finding 2 in that round, I do believe. So let's see if they can continue that going into round 8 and find themselves that little bit closer, Elijah. 3 rounds now. 3 rounds.
I mean, they're going to have to hold this just as well as Naughty Sausages did, especially on that top blue. But Naughty Sausages, they held it so perfectly in their defensive round. So I wonder if Naughty Sausages have practiced that. Being as strong as they did defending that, you could imagine that they are just as strong as attacking that. I mean, they've got all the experience to do so within holding it. They know what they need to do to clear it. That'll give them the advantage.
Yeah, that's it. And it looks like Kiwi, he's getting droned out heavy down here in Kitchen. And it looks like they're going for a quick trophy push here. They've already jumped in. They're getting the control. They're walking up Solar. They're trying to get this control as quickly as possible. But Hills, he's going to take some damage. But Robbie able to find one. But Harry there to trade. And that is a good frag to get. You know, your Ash off the board. I'd say that's a good trade.
Happy Brown Teddy Bear, he's popped up top of his west main as well, so I mean, if he sees that head hole, doesn't look like he has the angle. A pre-fire to go out, not to connect though. He's able to get away uncontested for the moment, unpunished as of just yet. They're going to have to get some more control. I mean, well done for taking that kitchen, that trophy as well. They've moved upstairs towards this master bedroom. Nobody's up there except for that blue Mallows, who was stopping them from getting another rotate. They are utilizing this floor-res drone. Now, that's something that we didn't get to see Naughty Sausages utilize. There is no deployable there, but they're able to utilize the drone to throw him off, you know, get him off of that blue. Nice little angle there by Mallows as well to try and take that fight, but he took the worst of it in the end.
Yeah, I think he used the Flores drone earlier to clear that shield both on Mez and top blue. So making use of that Flores, like you said, I was going to mention it, but you read my mind. You read my mind. But Mallows able to utilize the gun of Flores and shut down Gospel. So 4v3 now for Naughty Sausages, but we saw NDE make it work last time. Dave with the 1.5 shutting down Hale, but Life able to shut down him. Back to that 3v2.
I mean, they had so much intel as well. I got to see that Life did majority of the damage to Happy Brown Teddy Bear thanks to a pre-place that sorted him out towards dungeon as well. Did a lot of damage. He was able to get away uncontested though, so he's popped himself up back onto that blue stairs as well. And it's just a split hole from both of these teams. I mean, you can see all of it at the moment. They've propped up themselves nicely on the east side of the map versus the west. I mean, they're getting their way for this fire pit, and look at them all propped up nicely. 38 seconds left to work with. You have to sort out where these last two players are playing. There's one back here, able to see him as well. A pre-fire to go out. It's not going to be able to connect though, but the position's going to be given away. A nice little trade there by Kiwi and Mallows onto each other. That'll leave Happy Brown Teddy Bear alone in the dining. The kit's going to go down, and Life is going to find the head.
Unfortunate for NDE, they're not quite able to stop Naughty Sausages from securing that match point. And now, Elijah, they need to have a perfect 4 rounds here. Otherwise, they drop it and they lose it. And Chalet is Naughty Sausages.
I mean, it was quite strong, their attack. And not only did they just switch up their attack from pushing just that office, like what we got to see NDE, that was their primary push for their attack round. They just pushed from trophy across. They were able to utilize that. And it was unaware completely for the side of NDE. And they got that control super effectively. So I can imagine that's what they're going to do again. We are upstairs. Last time, NDE, they tried to take a solo. Do you think Naughty Sausages would do the same?
Yeah, I think for NDE, it worked well for them. Maybe Naughty Sausages, they just did a solo take, but for the Bar Gaming side, maybe they're comfortable just taking that side in general. And for this Master side, definitely is a viable push.
10 seconds left.
They can definitely make it work. And a lot of teams, they opt to hold that library side a little bit harder than that solo side. So they read into that, they can definitely make it work. As you see, all the frost mats are mainly on this side and a lot of Valkyrie cameras and whatnot. So definitely pushing that side would work well for them.
You can see that Naughty Sausages aren't bringing that IQ as well that we got to see ran every single round by NDE. So spotting out these black eye cameras are going to be a little bit harder. You need to be a little bit more careful on how you're looking at things and clearing out this util. Hopefully some of the drones are able to spot at least that library camera out, maybe that trap as well. I mean, last time you failed to drone it. Looks like Life is able to drone it this time. You're not unable to lose some of that HP as well. They're able to relay some of that intel that Dave is holding on to that Mez. Not letting it slip.
Yeah, he's just denying any intel coming in, and Kiwi, he's in this bar stock area ready to deny any jump ins from that double window, forcing Naughty Sausages to push through that single window or contest him downstairs, which is what they're doing. But Gospel, he's going to take a risky engagement onto the thermite there. He's going to lose that one. So Harry bringing it back to that 4v4. And for some reason, NDE, when they get that man advantage, they just put themselves in a situation where they lose it. And unfortunately for them,
they don't reset, unfortunately.
Yeah, now they're in that position where they need to either find a pick again or just try and deny more time.
I mean, look at this position from Dave at the moment. He's pinched from two players trying to take that library, but less so now as Dave manages to get a successful swing onto Hale, remove some of that pressure. There is another one in library though. Life is looking to add that phantom pressure onto him, so hopefully he doesn't swing out again because he's popped up nicely as well. He's pushing in. He's trying to get these angles onto him. He's looking a bit jittery at the moment. He wants to try to find the kill. The skeleton key's going to come in handy though, but Dave is just proving that he's not going to let Mez slip at all. Kiwi to match that and find it into an even rougher position as Harry is left alone in a 1v4 now. Does a lot of damage though. He's got the side control. It's not going to be enough though when you're exposed from so many different angles. And Happy Brown Ted's going to prevail.
Yeah, I think they held that really, really well in NDE. That's one way to kick off this comeback. You know, 3 more rounds. It's not impossible, but it is a lot of work to put in, and they need to keep this up. I think Dave, he's making work of that Wamaya 1.5 as well, and it's good to see. I'm happy to see this.
I mean, from what I saw, I mean, Dave and Life, they've both been securing this 1.5 on Wamaya at the moment. And I got to see that Dave, he's already propped up from what I saw on 13 kills. I mean, look at his kills at the moment. 13.
Yeah, he's the kill leader in this lobby right now, and that is huge for him. 13 and 6. He's keeping his team in this. Not to count anyone else out, but he is leading in that frag. But his team is enabling him to do that as well. We did see a lot of those yellow pings in that library, probably from that Valkyrie camera. So his team is helping him get those kills, and that's what we want to see. We want to see these players working together so that they can keep their team in this.
And they're utilizing that mirror this time. We haven't seen that from either one of these teams in the last few rounds. I like it, and especially for this side. I mean, they used the long angles last time. This time they're going to use the mirror instead. So if you don't clear that side trophy, I mean, you're going to have trouble opening up that main wall and pushing in.
Yeah, I think for them, you know, both teams, they're...
Is that drone hole? No, it was the window.
No, it was the drone hole, I think. But both these teams are just adapting so well. Like, we see Naughty Sausages, they're bringing the Flores, which NDE didn't. But then we're seeing NDE, they're running that Valkyrie, they're running that mirror, which Naughty Sausages didn't. So I'm liking this adaptation from both teams on their respective sides.
You can see utilizing that Flores is going to come helpful in trying to clear this top floor as well. You're already doing some drones. You know that there's 2 players up here. Robbie, you were spotted out by a 1 that was set up nicely as well. You've rotated towards those bathrooms to help with some of those claymores. You don't want to be ran out on a time like this. So you can tell that they're just trying to clear off their checklist at the moment. I mean, a few of them on that balcony, a few of them on those display windows as well. I mean, they're trying to clear this top floor before anything. Because if you get that vert control, you're able to, you know, successfully remove everything. I'm surprised that didn't open the mirror window.
No, I don't think it does, but I was scared for Kiwi's life there. He is on that low HP, and he was on cam, so if he wasn't aware of that indicator, it would have been a kill, and that is not a way you want to die, especially when the enemy team is on that match point, but they're going to utilize these EMPs, but they're bandit tricking. That's another thing that we didn't see Naughty Sausages do. They're utilizing being able to trick, but Bandit...
Shoot! No!
He didn't quite click in time, and he's able to find 2 kills, and that'll put his team in a very, very good position to go for this execute very, very shortly.
That's that spectator curse there. You're able to see just a little bit more than what the actual players can see. And smokes will go out to help you try to get this diffuser down. A nice toss from the C4 from Kiwi will be able to deny that. He's now able to find 1, and a nice swing as well that hit the head onto Hills, and that'll take it down to a 3v3 now. Happy Brown Teddy Bear accompanied by that mirror as well, as able to take out that health. Leave it down to a 3v2 now, as it's down to Hale and Mallows as well. The main breach isn't open thanks to the lovely Bandit tricking, able to deny those exothermic charges. You've only got 27 seconds left to work with. No smokes are left, I believe, so... I mean, you're in a rough position at the moment. The diffuser's out of your hand. You've got a whole mirror window that's going to contest you as well. Utilize all those flashes to open up a window for you to get in. You're going to stick this plan. That's your only opportunity left to do so. Hale with a nice frag grenade is going to clean up Kiwi. You're left alone to try to retake now, as you try to get these kills. Happy Brown Teddy Bear is going to capitalize on Mallows now, and there's only 1 left as Hale hits a nice headshot through the breach as well. And you just need to play the time now. I mean, there's all swinging in your way. I believe you opened up enough of that soft wall to help you get that angle as well, but Happy Brown Teddy Bear is going to go for a little bit of a long arm tactic as well. Take a little bit of HP off of Hale and go aggressive, but Hale, he goes big on that match point, and he'll win it for his team. Naughty Sausages taking the win.
What happened? That round just flipped twice, man. It flipped twice. I see. It looked so good for Naughty Sausages in the beginning of that execute. Then NDE, they were able to find 3, especially with that mirror window and that C4. And then Hale...